What if I told you there's a free way to stick graphics to warp surfaces and organic objects without plugins and without even doing any tracking? Sounds suspicious, I know, but it actually works. And in this quick tutorial, I'll show you how. Using a tool you probably already heard of but never thought of using this way. Before I show you the tool I'll be using, it's worth mentioning the official ways of doing this kind of work. One option is Lockdown, a third-party plugin that comes with several powerful tools and its own interface. It's fast, very accurate and widely used in production, but it does come with a learning curve. For what it's worth, there is also a free version you can try before committing to the full license, which is around $400. Another solid option is Mocha Pro. It offers different licensing tiers, but it can get even more expensive. Here, you'll want to use the Power Mesh tool, which is extremely sophisticated and very powerful, though again, there is a bit of a learning curve. The good news is that both tools have excellent tutorials online, including some on this channel. But what if you are so poor you can't even pay attention? If this is the case, let me show you a pretty cool alternative. Let's start here in After Effects just so we can establish what we want to do. We have this rhino shot and on top of him we have this PNG layer, which is my message to you: level up your motion design. And I want to track it to the rhino's back, or actually body. So instead of using the tools I showed you before, I'm basically going to grab this tab and close the other ones. This is EbSynth, totally free. The website is ebsynth.com/app, and of course there are links down below to everything I'm showing. Alright, I'm going to bring a Finder window on top of this, and then I'll drag this rhino shot over here, and it's going to load it up. I'm also going to bring the graphic that I showed you and drag it on top. Then I'm just going to place this and scale it more or less to the size I think it needs to be. Perhaps something like this. And then I'll open up track number 1, which holds this graphic, and change the blending mode to overlay or maybe soft light. I think overlay works best here. And believe it or not, that's it. I'm going to just press play, which is going to propagate everything from this point onward, and look at what happens now. It's actually going to automatically track the image and warp it to the surface of this rhino. This is just insane. And again, you don't need to learn anything, not a single button except of play. This is just amazing, and again, free of charge. I'll pause the playback, and if we want, we can now export it. With the free account, you can export in MP4 or ProRes with Alpha, which is great. And you can go up to 720p, but if you want all the way to Full HD, then you need to go with the Pro subscription. Notice that you also have the option to export it as an After Effects project. Alright, so let's explore this scenario. First, I'm going to create a new project over here. I know you got attached to it, but I'm not going to save this one. I'll switch back to After Effects, and I'm going to show you this footage first. And this is courtesy of my dear friend Louisa Winters, an incredible trainer, licensed pilot and pro drone operator. This shot was captured in Iceland at a place called Foss O Sinthu, and I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, and this is why I already tracked this shot here inside After Effects. As you can see, if I'm going to go to the effect controls, we have the 3D camera tracker effect already applied, and then we have this camera as well as a text. So this is what you can do inside After Effects, and it looks decent. And of course, we can use some displacement tricks in order to make this look as if it is part of the rocks here. So notice that I'm applying a displacement map effect, and I'm using this layer as a displacement source. So let's go back to this text layer, and again, I'll enable the effect so you'll have a chance to see how this works with the displacement. And of course, we need to hunt for the best blending mode. So maybe soft light will do here. And it looks like this, which is nice, but it's not really warped and distorted with the texture of this rock. Okay, so let's see how we can pull the same thing using EbSynth. So again, I'm going to bring the footage of this Iceland rock, and then I'll bring a version of the title without any distortion. I just exported a PNG file, And then I'll rotate it and move it more or less to the place it needs to be. Probably going to scale it just a touch, something like this. And as before, I'm just going to propagate forward. And notice how this is going to distort the layer based on the texture it is underneath, which is just amazing for the amount of work I'm devoting to this. As before, I'm going to open this and probably going to switch it to soft light, so we'll have more or less the same experience as we had inside After Effects when it comes to blending mode. And now I'm going to export this as an After Effects project. I'll click on export, and then it's going to render all the files and package them. So wait for it to finish depending on the traffic on the server and your internet connection. This may take a while. Once this is over, it will prompt you to save the file. And this is going to be a zip file. I'll save it on the desktop, and then I'll extract the file. And notice that we have our original video, track 1, which is what we have here with the title, a script, and then a readme file, which basically tells you, go back inside After Effects and run this script. So let's do just that. I'll return to After Effects. I'll go to File, Scripts, Run Script File. I'll navigate to the folder. I'll select the script and I'll open it. And this is what we are going to get. First of all, I don't think that we have the correct alpha channel here. And also, I want to remind you that this is a 720p comp. So first, I'm just going to bump it up to 1080 comp, which means that I'll need to swap my video layer. I'll take the original one and just paste it over here underneath. We don't need the 3D camera tracker in this case. And then I can say goodbye to the video that I got from EbSynth. And for this layer, I'll go to Layer, Transform, and I'm just going to fit it to the comp. Now, it will be a little bit softer, but I don't mind. I think it's actually going to contribute to the final effect. Then we'll need to fix the transparency issue. So although we ask for a QuickTime ProRes with an alpha channel, I don't think that we have any alpha channel present here. So I'm quickly going to look for the extract effect, and then I'll apply it. I'll make sure I can see the edge of the graph, and then I'll move the upper square just a touch, and this is going to say goodbye to all the dark pixels. Then I can preview the intermediate result, and I think it looks good, but I think we can improve it by going to the layer menu, and then under layer styles, let's apply the bevel and emboss layer style. I'll open it up, I'll change the direction to down, and I'm also going to sample for the highlight color, something bright from the scene, so probably this green, and for the dark, something dark, and maybe even change the size just a touch. Well, this is too much, so I'll split the difference. Already this looks good, much better than the previous result we got out of the 3D tracker, but I think we can even make it more natural by duplicating the video layer and then applying another instance of the extract effect. This time we want to take the white point almost all the way to the edge and then play with the white softness to bring back some of the details from the original. So you can go as far as you want depending on the legibility of this text. I think I'm going to stop over here. Just want to show you this is the before without applying the extract effect to the background layer, and this is with. It makes it look a little bit more embedded inside this texture. And then if we'll preview this from the beginning, this is how it looks. Wow, amazing. So is EbSynth perfect? Not even close. Can it fully replace premium tools like Lockdown or Mocha Pro? Sometimes yes, sometimes absolutely not. It really depends on the footage and how complex the deformation is. But here's the thing, for a lot of everyday shots, it's surprisingly good, especially when the price tag is exactly zero. And I think it makes it a very handy trick to have in your toolbox. I'm curious to know what you think, so let me know in the comments below, and if this helped, you know the drill, like and subscribe. My name is Eran, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for being part of the Stern FX experience.